welcome to Guess What Is Gluten Free. Today I'm joined by the lovely Miss Jess from Share the Harvest Farm, and she's going to teach us not only about how important Share the Harvest Farm is among other farm stands out here, but she's going to show us how to make a gluten-free pumpkin pie.
Thank you so much, Shannon. I'm really happy to be here. My name is Jess Hun. I am one of the farmers at Share the Harvest Farm. We are a nonprofit farm in East Hampton. We're located across from the high school on Long Lane. We're part of a group of farmers at Eco Farm. And Eco Farm is a 42-acre plot of land that's actually owned by the town, and it's preserved as organic farmland. So there are a number of farmers and groups that are farming there, including Share the Harvest. We're a nonprofit, and our mission is to grow and donate organic produce to food pantries and other organizations that feed people out here on the East End. So in the summer, when our crops are really doing their thing and our refrigerators are overflowing, we donate to 11 sites every week.
Wow, that's amazing!
Yeah, so that includes food pantries, affordable housing developments, senior center, the Retreat Women's Shelter, and the Eleanor Whitmore Center. Yeah. And we really try as much as we can to be a year-round farm as well, because the demand at a lot of the places that we work with actually goes up in the winter when most farms aren't really doing a lot.
Right.
So we have a heated greenhouse where we grow greens and some root vegetables in the winter. And we also have started a really great pilot project this year where we've taken all of our surplus vegetables in the summer, things that the food pantries don't need, and that we can't sell at our farm stand. And we have been taking them to another organization called Amagansett Food Institute. They've been processing them and freezing them in their commercial kitchen, and then we can distribute them in the winter, which is actually when the food pantries have the greatest number of families that they're feeding.
Right.
So we'll be starting that in January, which is really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that you guys do a lot.
Yeah, it's fun though. It's a, feel good at the end of the day,
Yeah.
both physically and mentally.
Wow. Now, we talked about this a little bit beforehand, but how long are you on the farm for?
It depends on the season. During the summer, we often do 11-hour days.
Whoa.
Yeah, which, we got to take advantage of the daylight and the warm weather while we have it and get as much of our veggies out of the field as we can. In the off season, so nowadays we get it to the farm at 8 and we usually leave between 4 and 5. We don't have any overhead lights at the farm, so in a couple weeks when we have daylight savings, around 4 o'clock we're not going to be able to see much anymore. So that's usually when we go home.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's obviously no shortage of pumpkins.
Yes, so we have quite a lot of pumpkins that we grew this year. And what we're going to be doing today is making a gluten-free Long Island cheese pumpkin pie. Have you ever heard of a Long Island cheese pumpkin?
No,
Shannon?
I have not, and I didn't know that pumpkins were called all different things, because my only experience has been like, okay, you can pick a pumpkin the size of your head, as if we're going on field trips with your kids.
Yeah.
And I just figured they were called gourds and things like I had no idea.
So there are actually a ton of different varieties of pumpkins, and some of them are better for certain purposes. This is actually one of the oldest varieties of squash that has been cultivated by humans. And it's the reason why people love it so much. It has a really soft and tender flesh, and it is less stringy on the inside than, say, like your orange pumpkin that you get for Halloween.
So what is the orange pumpkin called?
This little one that we have the variety is called Baby Bear. There are tons of different varieties. Yeah, so the different sizes, the different shapes, the different colors have all been bred to have that different quality that makes them special.
Wow.
Yeah, and this guy it doesn't actually have anything to do with cheese. It's called the cheese pumpkin because it kind of looks like a wheel of cheese. That was very confusing for my kids when we made the pie. They kept asking, when do we put the cheese in? But there is actually no cheese in the pie.
Truth be told, when you first told me about this pumpkin, I thought like we were going to do a cheesecake.
Which would be awesome too.
Yes, and I think we have a follow-up show coming, people. But you did tell me a little bit about the history of this.
Yep. So as I mentioned, this is one of the oldest varieties of squash that people have been growing. It was traditionally the pie that was used for pumpkin pies for the reasons that I just told you. It's such a great pumpkin to cook with. But then when the canned pumpkins started becoming a thing, people stopped buying and growing them as much. These guys, these little round orange guys, are much easier for large-scale production when it comes to canning because they fit on conveyor belts and they're much more evenly shaped than these guys. These guys can be kind of wonky looking. And so it was the orange pumpkins that started to be used a lot more. And these guys nearly went extinct, which is really sad because they're a native variety to here on Long Island, and it was part of our heritage that was about to be lost. So there were a few organizations and farmers that got together and started saving the seeds. They would find whatever seeds they could and save them and start growing them either in their fields or in their gardens at home. And now I'm happy to report the Long Island cheese pumpkin is back.
Da, 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 da! Wow, that is a lot of dedication. You got this guy. Congratulations, everybody, with all your efforts.
So
That's
you can
great.
actually find these guys at farm stands all over the place, including the Share the Harvest farm stand. And you can also buy the seeds from some of the major national seed companies now, which is really great.
That's incredible. Wow, what an amazing story. I'm going to put this over here.
Okay.
Oh, it even like feels nicer.
Yeah,
Like,
it has very nice, smooth appearance, and the color is really beautiful.
wow.
All right.
So that's what you have
So
over
yeah, so a lot of people are intimidated by the idea of cooking a pumpkin to make a pie, but it's actually a lot easier than you would think. What I usually do is just cut the pumpkin in half, put it like seeds. You can scoop the seeds out, save the seeds, and roast them and eat them. They're yummy. Or you can save the seeds for growing more pumpkins in your garden next year. Then you want to put them face down, so like the cut side down, on a plate. Put it in the microwave for 12 minutes, and it's cooked.
Wow.
Yeah, take it out, and you can scoop the flesh off of the skin at that point. It's much easier to do that after it's been cooked than to try and peel it before you cook it.
Okay.
So that's my tip to everyone, is just throw it in the microwave for 12 minutes, take it out, and scoop it up, and you're ready to go.
Wow, like, who knew it was that easy?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be this, like, big, elaborate, like, cut it open, put it in the oven, like, dry it for days type thing. That's amazing.
I do have a tip, which is that I usually, so after I take it out and scoop it up and mix it up and mush it up, whatever, I do like to strain it for a while, because you can see that it does, there is quite a bit of liquid.
Right.
And it can vary depending on the variety and what the how long it's cured for and just how much water it got during the growing season. So you want to drain it until you don't really see anything coming out of it anymore. And I find that takes about an hour. So it does add an extra step to the process, but trust me, it's worth it.
But still, yeah, because now you have like fresh made pumpkin puree instead of...
With your local Long Island cheese pumpkin, which, when you serve it to your friends and your family, you have a great story to go with it too.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited to have this today.
Cool. All right. So
how do we start? What do we start with?
This recipe that we're going to be doing can either do 1 or 2 pies. For this one, we're going to be using a pre-made gluten-free graham cracker crust.
Perfect. We can get it in the store.
Yep.
Most stores have this.
It's about as easy as you can get.
Yes. You can also make it yourself.
You can make it yourself, but if you go to all the trouble of making the pumpkin, give yourself a break on the crusts. So this recipe itself would probably actually make 2 of these. If you have one of the deeper dish trays or pie tins, it would probably just be 1.
Okay.
So, there's some wiggle room. So you want to take a couple cups of this guy, and I usually do this all in my food processor. I'm a big fan of not using too many bowls and utensils and stuff if I don't have to, because that means I don't have to clean them.
Me too. I think that is so awesome that it's like zip, 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 and pour.
All right. So
that was like 2 cups?
Yep. Wow. I kind of eyeball it sometimes, I will admit. But if you're cutting up a pumpkin that's like this size, you'll probably have around 2 cups.
So like if it was a larger pumpkin like
Yeah.
this one would be like
That's going to get
3 or
you,
4.
yeah, that's going to probably get you 3 to 4 pies this
Okay.
size. Yeah.
all right.
All
Here,
right.
I'll take that for you and put it
Sure.
in the sink. What is next?
All right. Can you, Shannon, shake this up for me? I always forget to do it until I open it.
Okay.
So this is just a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. Again, making it easy for yourself.
So what happens if you don't shake it?
It's just, it's a little bit separated. So you just want to have it.
Okay. Was
know.
it like the fat and the water separate?
Yeah, yeah. Which I guess, in theory, if you put it all in here together, it's going to get mixed up again anyway. But, you know, it says shake well on the top of the can, so you might as well follow.
Follow directions, people. Follow directions.
Here you go.
Thank you.
We are going to put 3/4 of a cup of sugar in here.
Okay. This is our organic cane sugar. You can use any type of sugar.
Yep.
I just prefer that 3/4 of a cup. Right. 1, 2.
Beautiful. Yes.
Awesome.
We are going to then get a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice.
All right. Look at this.
Nice. That's so convenient.
Right off.
And it matches your apron. So
I
nicely.
know. What?
Pumpkin pie spice is also something you can make at home pretty easily. It's really just cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, and ginger, which you can mix together in, you know, the ratio that.
Wow.
Yeah. Or you can just buy it.
But I mean, if you're going to go through all the trouble to have all those ingredients,
Yeah.
you might as well just make it yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't
and then
know that.
it's nice and fresh too when you get it.
Okay. Is that too much?
Oh, it's fine. I'm a big fan of pumpkin pie spice.
I am
so-
as well. Good.
Cool.
Awesome.
Alrighty, then we need 3 eggs.
All right. Now, how do you like to do your eggs?
I just put them right in.
Okay.
Do you like to mix yours before you put them in?
Sometimes it depends on what I'm making. If I'm making a cake, yes. If I'm making like scrambled eggs or something, I prefer to crack it in a bowl first to make sure there's no shell.
Yeah.
I'm down with just
All
putting
right.
it right in there.
Since we're doing the low impact on the dishes technique today, I think we'll just go straight into the food processor.
Okay. Now, why are these the color that they are? These look like they're a
So
bit
these
blue.
are these are heirloom eggs that I got from Iacono Farms, which is actually right across from Share the Harvest. Wow. I'm not sure what breed of chickens they come from, but they are beautiful, and I couldn't resist.
So these are not grocery store bought.
Correct.
These are fresh from the farm
Yep.
eggs.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Look at this color. This is like so cool.
They're beautiful. Wow. And they have a variety of different kinds of eggs at Iacono. They've got duck eggs, they've got all sorts of different sizes. So if you're looking for something special, it's a good place to go.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
That sounds really awesome.
Alrighty, then we just need a teaspoon of salt. And
Okay.
this is a little low, so if we need some more, we've got this.
Where's my teaspoon? You would think it was the first time I was baking. Okay. It's so nice to have you as a guest on the show.
Oh, it's
I
so
love
fun
it.
to be here.
I think maybe Jess is going to have her own show. Baking with Share the Harvest.
Yeah, okay. I know, I'm already thinking about
can't
like
get
the
it
kale episode, the tomato
Yes,
episode.
please. Give me kale chips.
Oh my God.
All right. Sorry, I had to switch that because I couldn't get the pour out.
So good. All right, now
Yes.
let's mix it up. You can do this in a blender. You could do this in a big mixing bowl if you have a whisk and good biceps. I like to do this. This is just my food processor I use for everything, so it
Okay.
travels with me. Yeah.
Now, is there like a certain consistency that you're looking for?
Yeah, it almost is like it looks kind of like a custard before you bake a custard. So
pretty.
you can see it's kind of thick. It smells really good.
It does. It smells so good.
Yeah. that extra pumpkin pie spice really helped. I
Thanks.
think. Just gonna give it a little bit more.
I cannot wait to eat this.
All right, should be good.
Da-da-da-da.
So we have our oven going right now at 400.
Okay.
So we're gonna put this in there, hopefully not make too big of a mess, and see how much we have left over.
Okay. Now, can you freeze this?
It has milk in it, so it would probably separate if you tried to freeze it.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, and it's got raw eggs in it, so it's not like you could use it to make ice cream or anything, but
So P.S. people, if
Yeah.
you're making this, you're in it to win it. Do you have
make
to,
sure you have an extra pie crust on
Yes.
hand, just in case.
Do you have to bang it or anything to get air bubbles out, or do we want air bubbles?
You want air bubbles.
Awesome.
It's gonna poof up in the oven like a souffle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because of the eggs.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, in we go. See you later, Gator.
All right.
So how long?
So this guy will stay in at 400 for 15 minutes.
Okay.
At that point, you want to take it down to 375 and leave it in there for about an hour.
Oh, wow.
I usually put the timer on for 40 minutes and then start checking it because that's when it starts smelling really, really good. And keep an eye on it. Once it gets that big, like, sort of souffle dome,
Yeah.
then you know it's good. Take it out, let it cool. It will, fall. And then once it's totally cool, you want to put it in the refrigerator and keep it refrigerated till you eat it.
So this is definitely like a make ahead.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
You could definitely eat it, without refrigerating it first. But
Okay.
if you don't want it to sit on the counter after you're done.
well, it smells so good. I don't think we have to worry about that. Okay.
So
Is that what it looks like when
it
it's done?
is, yeah. So
It's
we
amazing.
have one that we could test
over
just to
here.
make sure that it's as good as we hope it will be.
I'm so excited. You can top this with anything you like.
Yeah, I have some whipped cream at home, which I will say goes very nicely with this.
I think that's like the traditional topping. I
Yeah.
doubt that was the historic part of the pumpkin pie. I was going to ask you something else about pumpkins. Oh, so like when you go to pick pumpkins, though, what makes them the different colors that they are, the different varieties, and why do some of them have bumps and some don't?
It's just the genetic differences between the different varieties. So some pumpkins will actually in the fields get like a fungus on them on the outside. We have that happen with ours because we're an organic farm, so we
Right.
don't
Not
spray
this
them.
pumpkin, just so you know.
But it's not a bad fungus. It just makes it look kind of funky.
Yeah.
But you're not eating the skin anyway, so it's not going to hurt you.
That's awesome.
But yeah, people will, when they have a pumpkin that they like, they will save the seeds if it's, they like it because of the way it looks, because of the way it tastes. And then over the years, as people keep breeding the different kinds of pumpkins, you have, you've got the crazy ones with the goosenecks, and you've got the ones that look like cheese, and you've got the ones that look like little orange soccer balls. So that's just the plant world for you.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that is so, so cool.
Yeah, and if you're making pumpkin pie yourself and you want to use a real pumpkin for it, just keep in mind you want to stick to one of the smaller ones. The big guys that you make your jack-o'-lanterns out of are
Yeah.
actually not really that great for eating.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the smaller, they're actually usually called sugar pumpkins because they're sweeter and they taste better, whereas the big guys are kind of, kind of mealy when you
Yes.
scrape into them.
Yes.
Yeah, not great for baking.
Oh, wow. I just learned a lot in like 10 seconds. That just totally blew my mind.
Yeah, and you can also make soup. You can make other kinds of pastries. I've been known to make like pumpkin scones before, cookies. Yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff with pumpkins.
Okay, so I think you just signed yourself up for a pumpkin episode 2.
Okay.
Gluten-free scones and pastries.
The sequel.
Yes. Okay, let's take a bite of this.
Yeah,
I'm so
let's-
excited.
I'm excited to try this crust.
Oh my gosh, this is a really good consistency.
On point with the spice ratio.
We have to talk about this for a second, people. This tastes so different than making it with the store-bought canned pumpkin pie puree. This is delicious.
Yep.
It's not too sweet. It's like, I'm trying to think of how to put it. Like, I'm not going like,
Right.
when I eat it, it's amazing.
The flavor of the pumpkin really comes through a lot more than
Yeah. And it's just softer. Everything about it is just so different.
Yeah.
What do you think of the crust? Can you
If
believe
somebody
it's
were
gluten-free?
if somebody were to say what's different about this crust, I wouldn't be able to tell them.
Boom! See, there you go. Guess what? It's gluten-free, Jess.
I love it.
Man, this is so good. I haven't had pumpkin pie in years.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just because it was just too sweet after a while, and I was like, ugh, I'm good.
Yeah.
But so, side note, can we talk about this for a second?
Sure.
Can we show everybody your amazing apron?
Yep.
She made this. She made this herself.
Farmer ingenuity.
It's beautiful. Can you tell everybody how you made it?
So I got myself just a plain apron. We have at Share the Harvest our logo on our bags and T-shirts and hats. But I really wanted to have a special apron. We're here on your show, so I made a stencil and took a Sharpie and made my own apron.
That's so awesome! Like, when she put this on, I was like, wow, that's amazing. You guys should sell
So
that.
now I have to make one for you so you can wear it next time.
Please, that is going to be in like my alternating ratio of aprons. I love it. It is really awesome.
Thanks.
So, what other little tips and tricks do you have for like the holiday time with your veggies that you guys grow?
So what we've currently got going, we've got a lot of sweet potatoes, which I know you love to make. Sweet potatoes in my house are like a staple this time of year. We've got a lot of potatoes coming out of the ground too. Awesome. We still have lots of kale going. The kale will be going for a few more weeks. Are you a fan of kale?
I am.
Yeah.
I love kale. I love kale chips. I love kale in soups. I love, grinding up,
Do
putting
you
in
know
brownies.
about massaging your kale when you use it for a salad?
No, but I feel like this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, so kale sometimes it's got that texture that's like a little tough and it's
Yes.
got that kale-y flavor
Yes.
sometimes, which can be a little bit overpowering. If you cut up your kale, put a little bit of olive oil and salt on it and just rub it for a little bit, like literally massage your kale. And then let it sit for a little bit. It's actually going to cut down some of that toughness in the kale and make it a lot sweeter.
Oh,
It's delicious. I've gotten people to eat kale that way who said they'd completely sworn off kale. And then I gave them this salad and they were like...
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so, it's like tenderizing meat.
Yes, exactly.
That's so like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Got to break down those cell walls a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of time when you cook with things, you don't really think about like, it's almost like meat is meat, vegetable is vegetable, fruit is a fruit. Like you don't really incorporate the same techniques that you would, but it sounds like
Yep.
it would make a really big difference and a big like blow your mind, sensation just eating it and trying new things.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll have kale going for a while. We actually have a bunch of different varieties. Speaking of different varieties, what you usually see in the store is that green curly kale that's kind of the standard. We also have 7 other different varieties of heirloom kale that we're growing.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a
so
lot.
we've got purple kale, we've got striped kale, we've got this kale that's called dinosaur kale, which is my favorite, which has like very long, narrow leaves, and it's very wrinkly. It's really cool. I'll have to bring in some next time.
What a smart way to get your kids to eat kale.
I know, right?
A Brachiosaurus ate this.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome. What's your favorite one?
I love the dinosaur kale.
Like,
And not just because I'm a super nerd who loves dinosaurs, but it is
so
actually, I find it to be one of the more tender varieties. So.
wow. That is so interesting. Well, I can't wait to have you back on for another show. And
Anytime.
I'm serious. If you want to get a hold of Jess at any point,
You can contact me, Jess, at sharetheharvestfarm.org, and visit our website, which is sharetheharvestfarm.org, to learn more about what we do.
And can they stop by and visit anytime?
Anytime. Well, they can stop by anytime. I can't guarantee we'll be there. But our farm stand is located at 55 Long Lane in East Hampton. We're usually open from around Mother's Day to Columbus Day. Wow. So we're getting a little bit of a break now, but come see us in the summer.
Well, being on the farm from 8 to, dusk, I think you guys deserve a bit of a break in the winter.
And some pie.
Yes, and some pie and some homemade winter goodies. So we really look forward to hearing about all these new Share the Harvest adventures and maybe getting some more of these guys and some more aprons.
Swag.
There's some more swag. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to do this week, Shannon, because in a couple weeks, my coworkers and I are actually going to be making 200 Long Island cheese pumpkin pies for the food pantries for Thanksgiving. So this was a really good test run to make sure that the recipe actually works.
Well, all those people are not only going to love your generosity, but they're going to love these pies.
Yeah, we hope that puts a smile on somebody's face on Thanksgiving.
Well, it's definitely put a smile on mine. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And, we hope you guys feel a little more comfortable and adventurous when it comes to pumpkin pie. I know I do, and I learned like a ton of stuff that I did not know about pumpkins. But yeah, please join us next time on Guess What? It's Gluten Free.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.